Welcome back to The Morning After. My name is Matt Smith, beige in name, beige in nature. This week we'll be talking about yet another generative AI that's broken cover, how the MacBook family finally makes sense, and what is this? An NFT event that was absolutely terrible? Surely not. This is The Morning After. Samsung is pulling a Bixby again. Yes, it's just announced its very own generative AI model called Gauss, named after the world famous German mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss. So far, it sounds like a lot of the generative AI models we've already seen. There's different components for different parts. Gauss language will be able to translate things as well as summarize documents. Meanwhile, Gauss code will help you code, of course. And then there's Gauss image for all of your image generating needs. Yes, this will be able to generate artwork based on prompts and even edit pictures from those text-based prompts as well, it seems. Gauss the human was responsible for the normal distribution theory, one of the backbones of mathematical theory that has developed into machine learning and AI. He was called the Prince of Mathematics, which is either a burn or a compliment, depending on your intonation. And I like to think that using AI to generate an image of a cat writing at a desk is exactly what 19th century nerd Gauss would have wanted. Now, it's easy to be cynical here when it comes to Samsung. It loves to make its own version of existing technology just because it can, it seems. And I blame Bixby, the company's homemade voice assistant, for this impression. When Bixby first launched, it was positioned as a flagship feature for Samsung smartphones. In fact, the company went as far as to make dedicated hardware buttons to launch the voice assistant. Seriously, the Galaxy S9 only had 4 buttons, and the company decided to dedicate one to Bixby. Now, having said all that, there are some good reasons for Samsung to take a chance on Gauss. For example, running generative AI on device gives it an advantage over the likes of ChatGPT, which still depend on cloud connectivity. And Qualcomm's new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 supports on-device generative AI procedures, and that chip is more than likely to be the one powering Samsung's flagship phones next year. Apple has had a few MacBook problems over the years, whether it was the lack of ports or those terrible butterfly keyboards. It's also just had a confusing lineup of similar machines with different names, different chips, and different prices. I think finally that problem has been solved. Apple surprised us recently with new M3 equipped MacBook Pros in 14 and 16-inch sizes. Yes, following the M2 Pro MacBook Pros, this means we've had 2 iterations of the Pro series in under 12 months. It's a clearer sign of Apple's MacBook future, putting some distance between the company's Pro and Air lineups. These new Pro machines, especially the ones with the M3 Max, are aimed at professionals that need all that power. And for everyone else, there's the MacBook Airs that still have a lot of power, but are just better aimed at pretty much the rest of us, probably including me. And so for the first time in a long time, Apple's MacBook lineup finally makes sense. Make sure to check out exactly what Apple's most powerful laptops are capable of in our full review over at Engadget.com or elsewhere on our YouTube channel. So you thought merely attending an NFT event would be torturous enough. At Yuga Labs Ape Fest, a celebration of Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, which are still a thing, at least 15 attendees reported eye injuries following the event. If you've forgotten, Bored Ape Yacht Club are the creators of a range of NFT artworks, usually featuring portraits of apes. They've collaborated with Adidas, being compromised by hackers on Instagram, picked up tons of celebrity endorsements from the likes of Gwyneth Paltrow, Snoop Dogg, Jimmy Fallon and Lamar, and faced a class action lawsuit. So it's a mix of good news and bad news so far, but this is definitely bad news. According to reports, multiple people who attended the event suffered from visual problems afterwards, which they suspect stemmed from lighting at the event. Some claim doctors diagnosed them with welder's eye, which is a condition people normally get from overexposure to UV rays. The company says it's investigating these claims, with many pointing the finger at germicidal UV lamps that may have been used in the toilets. I hate that I think that looks cool. But hey, at least those Bored Ape artworks have never looked better. Let's move on to the rest of the news this week. SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, has officially ended its strike, with the union saying it felt it had protected its members from the threat of AI. It was generative AI and a so-called zombie clause that was the main sticking point during negotiations. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers wanted to make AI scans of high-earning union members, with studios then able to use the actors' likenesses after they passed away, without any permission needed from the union or their estate. The alliance eventually agreed to adjust the language it used for AI in its proposal. It's been rumoured for years, but Nintendo says a live-action film based on The Legend of Zelda is in the works. The twist? It's co-financed by Sony Pictures. Yes, PlayStation Sony. I wonder, will the Shaker Slate be an Xperia phone? What, another twist in the WeWork saga? The company has filed for bankruptcy protection, and if you thought the company had already gone bankrupt, you're not alone. Didn't I watch a whole docudrama about this? That was your morning after, and I still am Matt Smith. Thanks once again for watching. We'll be taking a break next week, but we'll be back, and I may be wearing glasses, and I might not. We shall see. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.